We've been doing a little exercise about spotlight teams, some of the teams that may or may not be a national title contender this year, but there's just something extra that's interesting about them to me. And I wanted to talk to you about Florida. I got 4 of them for you right quick. Florida's one of them, though. They were bad last year, not to put too fine a point on it. They were 1-5 versus top 25 teams. 30 was the magic number defensively. They were 0-6 when allowing 30 or more. They were 6-1 when they allowed less than 30. I don't think that's shocking. What is a little bit of a shock to the senses, I guess, is they are back-to-back sub 500 now for the first time since 78 and 79. Bradley wasn't even born then. Junior Director Bradley wasn't even around. That's a long time ago. Remember the era we're in, because it has a lot to do with how people are going to talk about Billy Napier this year. We are in that whole portal, NIL, post-Lincoln Riley USC resurrection era. And all that sounds like Cam Newton word salad. What that means is once a guy has taken over a fledgling program and reignited it overnight, like Lincoln Riley just did USC, by using the transfer portal and NIL, folks are going to think anyone should be capable of doing that, again, just like that, overnight. And when you don't, instead of someone saying, have patience, that one person's going to be drowned out by 38 other people saying, no, forget patience. Lincoln Riley did it. Why can't you do it? We're Florida, after all. What do they have that we don't? That's the way it's going to go. I'm not saying I agree with it, but you know I'm right. That's the way it's going to go. Now, you go 9-3 this year, I won't have to listen to it. But you go 7-5, 6-6, you're struggling to make a bowl game again, we absolutely will have to deal with it. That's the first thing. Another thing is Billy Napier came from Louisiana, and he came from the G5 ranks. And whether it's fair or not, there are other jobs that will come open, and athletic directors and hiring search firm committee types, whether it's fair, again, or not, they are going to use this as a barometer. And sure enough, if you're looking at a G5 candidate for your Power 5 head coaching position, someone in the room is going to say, well, remember what Billy Napier did at Florida over the past 2 years. This year will determine whether that is a positive or a negative. Because if he's put up back-to-back subpar seasons, someone's going to say, I don't know, do we want to end up like Florida? You know, because you've seen one G5 head coach, you've seen them all, right? Again, I don't have to like it or endorse it. Just telling you that broad brush will be painted with by folks in the hiring position. And not the least of which, in this whole equation, is we've got the balance of power in the SEC East up for grabs. And it was for a long time a belief that it's Georgia, Florida, Florida, Georgia, and it was. Tennessee was nowhere to be found. Well, then all of a sudden, Tennessee rebounded. And Tennessee is now a plus 2,200 team in the SEC to win the whole thing, to win the national championship. They have the 4th best odds in the SEC to win the national championship. You know who has the second to worst odds? Florida. Balance of power. Those folks in Gainesville, while they will not tolerate long-term Georgia dominating them, they at least understand it. They don't understand Tennessee all of a sudden riding the ship this quickly and them not. Florida, big-time spotlight program.